Good afternoon, everyone. It is Monday, July 7th, 2025. And we got a sell-off today in the markets. First red day in a while. Do we have more downside coming? Let's get into the charts here. First, if you can give the video a thumbs up, appreciate it very much. Subscribe to the channel and come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We're doing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. We got 4 more days left on the sale. 60% off active trader, 30% off swing trades, and 40% off all courses. Multiple winners taken today and last week. We're absolutely crushing it this year. Hope to see you guys in there and take advantage of that while we got our summer sale still going. Well, let's get into the charts here. So do the video a little bit on the later side. Had some stuff going on here, but did want to get at least a quick update out for everybody. As I know that y'all are waiting real patiently for my videos to come out here. But in any case here, markets today with a good downslide, just kind of a slow plodding bleed down this morning. And this is something we talked about in the trading rooms. It feels like it's going to be one of those bleed down type days here. And that's kind of what we got. And right now, we did finish off the lows. We finished down just 80 basis points. We were down a little over 1% at one point. And we had a nice, there was actually a little dealer level there right at 6,200. A low of the day, 6,201, that held perfectly. And we were looking for downside to, around 620. I talked about this in the YouTube short this morning. And we did get that, and we kind of just pinned there, and then a little fake breakdown, and then a little pop into the close. That said, I do think there can be some risk tomorrow into... definitely, I don't want to give the exact number away that, everybody in the trading room knows the number. And it's definitely lower. It's not a, well, it actually is a little bit of a large amount lower for a single day, but these things tend to get rolled. So sometimes, I think it was remember back in 510 here, when I kept saying, I know this 510 handle, or excuse me, it was 580. Well, that was probably that one too. But you remember this 580 area back in May? I kept talking about it. I said, guys, this 580 handle keeps coming up. And we kept getting close to it like for a few days. And then we finally got down there and closed just below at 579.11. And that was a level that we know whales wanted to get filled at. And there's a one here too. Members know about it, but that's what's in the trading room. But in any case, it's not like it's a huge deal. I think that pre-OPEX week we should see some dips getting supported for the most part, but I do think we can see some downside. And honestly, if we gap up tomorrow, I might even look to play sit down. I might look to play bear for a possible move to the downside. So we do have a little bit of intraday resistance up at like 622, and if you go to SPX, 6250. 6245 area, and we'll just have to see how the flows look like tomorrow morning. But right now, I do think we can see a little bit more downside, and part of the reason for that is I didn't talk about this in the Friday video. I talked about it in the weekend video though. But you can see that there was a pretty big jump in sentiment last week, and more importantly than sentiment, positioning, right? Fund managers are the most long since December of last year. So we know what happened around, and then, before then, it was July and, mid-March. What happened during those two times, right? December, a major high was put in essentially, and then we had a little fake out high in Feb. And then what happened in July last year? A pretty good slide, right? And then what was mid-March, mid to late March, right before that top. So we could be due for a little bit of a pullback here. And, Friday morning, I was like, or not Friday, but, Thursday morning, I was like, yeah, we'll probably just park up here and sit, maybe do some back and filling. I didn't think we were just going to have this euphoria move, but we did take some gains in the weekend with this pump. This pump was definitely 100% forced selling. I should say forced buying, rather, forced short covering. And that, to me, signaled that fund managers definitely got squeezed out, and we definitely saw that in the data over the weekend. And the COTs are actually showing that as well. So if we look at, if I'll flip over here to ES, just 1 second. There we go. And we'll go to the weekly, because that's where we go, because we have COTs out today. You can see, again, banks definitely came in a little bit and trimmed. And you're seeing the chase now on with retail and hedge funds, right? And Q, little crossover there, right? So we talked about the tech being the most vulnerable. The Dow, nobody really cares that much. It looks like smart money is still holding cyclicals and rotation. And Russell continues to remain the best risk reward to the upside. So right now, yeah, you're definitely seeing a little bit of weak. Now, that doesn't mean the market has to go down. It just means that bulls no longer have this really like steep advantage positioning wise. So just be aware of that moving forward. And, you can see down here, you got 6150 as a possible support. And, the even 6100, even down to like 6050 SPX would be a nice, that would get, maybe even get bears a little excited. It's all fake breakout type of deal. And if that can get defended and we can just reclaim 6150, market can just go back up. But yeah, definitely a little bit of risk here for the first time in a while. And we'll just continue to monitor that. I think finally we're getting some good volatility here to trade. And I don't mind trading melt ups, but man, when they're lockout rallies, it's really hard to do a whole lot because you don't get enough dips to buy, and the dips you get are just really shallow and not as many opportunities here. But having a little bit more of a normalized market is good. Obviously, the Qs here, 540s are easy support on the downside. We'll draw that in, and there you go. IWM, take a look at this, by the way. I was just messing around with some longer term charts here over the weekend, and look at that hit there, that yellow trend line. That goes all the way back here, and this is why I just gotta love charts, man. Look at this. 2011 to 14 to 18, and then we had a euphoria move through it, hit it, went through, and then look at where it went. Right to that. But in any case here, I still like risk reward the Russell the best here. It did get close to 225. If it can base here, it can try to get through that. And I do think the Dow, not Disney, the diamond here, close to all-time highs. I think that should try to make a run here in the next week or so if we can consolidate a little bit of a base. Semis backing off today, a little evening star move there. Inside day for IGV, and then transports here. Again, trend lines here. Beautiful, right? Perfect. So nice little hit there, and that backed off. Interest rates were up a little bit today on the 2-year, and ZB got hit pretty good. So TYX, 30-year yield up big, 10-year up big as well. So we got CPI on Wednesday as well. So we'll keep an eye out for that. XHB VNQ on the weaker side today also. XLF backing off, nothing terrible. Banks for the most part here just kind of backing off like everything else did. I'm just going to kind of run through this quickly here just to get a quick one out for you guys. But, oil actually gapped down and rallied all the way back, so that was strong. But XLE was down really all day, which is an interesting little correlation there. So some backing off there. Nat gas not doing a whole lot. The dollar actually caught a bid today. And if we can reclaim 98, I think we can squeeze up a little bit more. We'll see if that's the case. With CPI gold, nice rebound today intraday. We actually had a beautiful trade. Absolutely, this is one of the this is like a right tail event for us on silver. We had a trade this morning in the room. Entry at 36.51 on the reclaim here of this low, and it took off. And I said, well, we sold a little bit, and I said, maybe it could get up to 37. And I was like, that's just like a runner, like that's your best case scenario, and it got there. I mean, I think we sold before this little pop here, the last trailer, but that was nice to see that just follow through all the way to the end. And honestly, if it wasn't futures, I'd probably still hold it because this is a good looking daily chart pattern here. Love the test candle. Buyers pushing it right back up, and you're right back pressing against the highs. And dealer positioning looks decent on this on SLV too. Into the middle and the end of the week. Platinum and palladium holding up nicely, and copper was down today. Outside of that, Bitcoin, that was backing off last I checked. And yeah, down 1% here. So pretty much just like the market, but again, little bull inside bar there on the daily, no problems. I would have just preferred it if we had rolled over one more time and then done this, but we'll see what happens here. Bitcoin on paper is technically sound right now. I don't see any problems. So tomorrow, still a little bit of risk into the middle of the week, and maybe even towards the end of the week too. But we'll see. I do think there'll be a dip buy opportunity at some point. But yeah, tomorrow, I don't know. It does feel like we could see a little bit more downside here. even if we gap up, I do think that positioning now is no longer as favorable, and we no longer have the majority of the market looking for a ton of downside, at least positioned that way. So that does open the door up for some pulling back here if we get more negative news, especially with that deadline coming up with the tariffs. So, anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I will see you guys all tomorrow.